episode one, we see you on OG Siva throwing out Kyle's name. Start here. Give me your intentions here.
Okay. I felt like I was like being gaslit, like I'm crazy. And I'm like, you're telling me, and I'm not accusing. I want to go down all avenues here before I make a decision of if I think Kyle is telling the truth or lying, because I don't know him. I've known him for 15 minutes. You are telling me we all just blindly believe that this handsome, strong, athletic man just lost to a guy with one arm? And I've never seen any glass on Survivor other than a timer. So I was just simply, I just wanted to like kind of like, hey, what do we think about this? Can we all have some input? Like, I'm not accusing. I just want to like maybe put that out there.
Right. We're playing a game.
Yeah.
Let's talk all angles. I get it.
So mildly, but it totally did not work.
Yeah. So were you surprised? I mean, did you realize that Camilla immediately sort of threw you under the bus?
I watching back, I'm not surprised, but out there, I didn't think that's what happened, obviously. Great gameplay on her end. Super proud. If it would have been the other way around, probably would have done the same thing. But I had went to Camilla and was like, hey, we're on the bottom of this tribe. It's me and you. Like I don't know if you can tell, but I can tell. And it's smart. If you feel like you're on the bottom of the tribe, well, who's the other person on the bottom? I'll put him below me and I'm no longer on the bottom. And so, very smart of her to do. Absolutely. My thinking was that, hey, maybe if kind of us two of the dynamic of this tribe and kind of just the energy we kind of felt within the first couple of days, if us two who are quote unquote on the bottom can kind of create this little block and link up, we might be a little bit more powerful. But obviously that didn't happen. And I mean, we never went to tribal council anyway, so it didn't really matter at the end of the day.
Right. And then when you guys got to the swap, how did you feel about this new tribe?
I was very nervous. I was very like anxious about that. I did not want to swap. Um, it's just another thing of where Survivor, you can't predict anything on Survivor. When you think you can, they throw something different at you. So I was just like, okay, I'm gonna have to like roll with the punches here. Let's see what happens. And that was a wild ride on that beach too for me.
All right, so that takes us to the merge. We're now all together. There's a gazillion people here on one beach. Are you vibing? Are you feeling good about your conversations?
No, I was panicked. It was chaos. It was 13 people and everyone running around like chickens with their heads cut off, trying to figure out what the heck are we doing? It was insanity. And I was like overstimulation to the max. There was a point where I just sat down and I was like, I literally don't even know what to do here.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
So leading up to this tribal, though, I'm sure there were lots of conversations. Were you feeling like your name was being thrown around seriously?
Initially, I didn't feel like that. I wasn't sure. I mean, I had heard a lot of chatter about Say, and so I'm like, I mean, I'm fine with Say, whatever. Um, but there was a point right before we were supposed to leave for tribal, and I had initially, all of my clothes were still wet from the challenge. So I had everything hanging up, my shoes, which are very expensive, hung them up to dry. And there was a point right before we were about to leave for tribal council that I had kind of caught Camilla, Kyle, and someone else. I can't remember. They were all kind of like walking back from the water well chatting, and they were all kind of like looking down as they walked. And I kind of like met them at this fork in the road, and I could tell I kind of surprised them. And Kyle looked up and looked at me, and it was Kyle's face that I went, okay, go get your shoes and put them in your bag. Because if it's your time to go tonight, I at least want to take my shoes with me.
So you do have your shoes. Okay, that's good.
I have my We'll see. Maybe on next week's episode, someone will be in full charity outfit. Who
Yeah.
knows? Underwear included.
So does playing your shot in the dark cross your mind, or is that a little too
Oh
far?
my gosh. The thing was, I blacked out. I was like on like two different spectrums there. It was like one side of me was like, oh my gosh, I'm like so much anxiety. I'm at tribal council. This is insane. Is it going to be me who gets voted out? And then on the other side was like, I'm living a dream. I'm literally in front of Jeff Probst. I'm at tribal council. This is so freaking cool. I have waited a decade to be here. And I just blacked out. I'll be honest, I totally forgot that that shot in the dark even existed. Like,
Mhm.
it was just like, whatever's supposed to happen, happened. So I still have it. Cool. It's a cool little reminder of you should have played this, you ding dong.
A little keepsake. Well, what is the tribal vibe like for you? I mean, you slightly blacked out here, but like this is your first time. Jeff's like, you guys had laughs. Like it kind of seemed like a fun tribal.
It seemed like that, didn't it? Great edit. Um, it was just, it was confusing
Mhm.
because you just didn't really know who is with who and who is voting for who. And there were so many conversations. And then, especially for me, there were conversations with people that I didn't even talk to that either I thought they would approach me or I didn't approach them. And so it was honestly just, it was like this toss up of like, we're just going to have to see what everybody writes down and then you'll kind of know. And we saw what happened.
Yeah, when you are walking out, how does this feel in that moment?
Well, it wasn't shown that I didn't know which torch was mine, so it took me like a solid 2 minutes to find my torch. So on brand for me. So that was super awkward. And I was like, I just want to get out of here at this point. Like, give me my freaking torch. I'm out. Um, but it was just, it was surreal. Really all I remember was that I told myself, I want to go out with grace. I want to go out with dignity. I'm not upset. Just like I said in my exit interview, I'm sad, but I'm not bitter. I got to play Survivor, which is a lifelong dream. I had the best time out there. And really, the only thing that I remember from walking out in that moment is I heard Mitch say, I love you, buddy. And I was like, I love you too, you know?
Yeah, it seemed like you guys did get really close, and he seems very upset to see you go.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we'll see on next week's episode. Maybe that's not true. I don't know. But I love Mitch to absolute death. And I remember thinking out there, God, like if him and I make it far, I have to vote him out because he's hands down the most likable person on this cast. And then in the next thought, thinking, I would lose to him because I just love him so much, genuinely. I found a lifelong friend on Survivor, and I did not expect that. Didn't win $1 million. Obviously, wish I would have, but I gained something so much more valuable in life, and I am rooting for him. Absolutely love Mitch.
Was there anything that you wish had made into the edit?
Yeah. I wish that when we got to the Loggy Beach, I wish that they would have showed that immediately Star kind of took me off to the side and she handed me her advantage and she said, "Hey, I found this. Nobody knows. I can't open it and I want to work with you. I feel like you're cool, you're trustworthy. I get a good vibe from you." And so when we're all sitting in the shelter and Eva's like, "Oh, let me tell you, Star has an advantage." It had already been in my bag for a few days. So I wish they would have aired that because there is a lot of like, Charity's not trustworthy, Charity's playing the game hard. And I'm like, well, we don't even see any of those clips because honestly, they don't really exist.
Well, you've watched the show, you've been wanting to get on the show. Was there anything that surprised you when you were actually there playing the game?
I have been asked this by so many people in my life, and I wouldn't say there's anything that surprised me, but what I will say, and this is kind of a roundabout answer, is that I watched the show for so long. It was a lifelong dream. I'm finally in this place of like, I am healthy enough and confident enough to do this. I apply for the show. And then, going through the casting process, you're just like, you're just monkey barring from one thing to the next of like, get through this interview, get through this, get through that, go through this. Okay, now do this test. Okay, now go get these shots. And like, you're just kind of like, get through this, get through this, and I'm so competitive that I'm just like looking like, okay, yes, won that. And it was not until I was in the boat pulling up to the marooning challenge with like so many cameras pointed at me and crew and people and boom mics and whatever. I'm pulling up in the boat to the marooning challenge and it hits me. I literally, the first time I thought, what am I doing? What am I doing out here? Like, I'm sleeping on the ground tonight. What have I got myself into? And so that was when really the reality of like, did you really think about like the reality of this. I didn't at all. Not at all.
Well, can you sum up this whole experience? Was there a highlight for you?
The whole experience, I think, if I even in just one word, is that I'm grateful. I had the best time out there, and I'm sad but not bitter, But obviously, I would have loved to win, but my gratefulness does not change whether I was voted out first or I won the $1 million. I am so grateful to have this opportunity and to live a dream. Very few people get to say that they actually get to live their dreams, and I did, and it will never be taken from me. I am beyond grateful for what I got to do. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's beautiful. I mean, it's good to hear, no matter where you go out, that it is still a lovely experience.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for your time today.
Thank you so much, Sarah. It's nice seeing you.